Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you as the mouthpiece of a handful of people whose loyalty and commitment to my father carried us through 3 memorial services over 365 days since his breath was freed from its restless tide. Palpable in this gathering is his power, emanating from a grand reservoir of spirituality which rendered it so potent and universal. The majesty and beauty with which he clothed his words linger in books, tapes, and memories. His flame burns on in our hearts and sails through our dreams. That is why we are here today. So why do we need a structure to carry on? How futile is an attempt to build eternity in a world of impermanence? Will it do him any good, where he is now, if his memory were preserved for 1 year? Or 1,000? Perhaps it is the colossal emptiness we who enjoyed him feel since his departure. Not just the big hole in our hearts, but the gap in the constellation, the space where a star used to be. And we ponder, almost with pity, about those who never experienced his acute mind, warm heart, perceptive spirit, expressive pen, and lively humor. That rare encyclopedic portrayal of excellence. Will the coming generations ever know that a professor of obstetrics and surgery could expand his quest for knowledge to excel in Islamic jurisprudence, Abrahamic theology, medical ethics, and poetry, and to do it all with love? At a time when the motto is how to take, is it worth marching through life, giving and forgiving as he did when he rose above hatred and selfishness with indefatigable wings? What a mountainous responsibility it is to pass on that link of loving grandeur to those who never knew him. But what a difference can this make to our lives and to our world? In audible silence, Hassan Hathout wrote of Madame Laure, whom he met at Initiatives of Change Mountain House in Switzerland. During the German occupation of France in World War II, she was a member of the French resistance. To her people, a hero, and to the Germans, of course, a terrorist. Her transformative forgiveness happened on her way out of Mountain House in hateful anger upon the arrival of a group of Germans, when a man of faith told her, "Do you think you can rebuild Europe without the Germans?" Today, he could have told us, "Do you think you can rebuild America without the Muslims?" She locked herself up for 3 days and 3 nights without food or sleep, struggling into the depths of her own being. Then came out, and for the first time sat with a German and spilled horror stories behind her hatred. The response of the German lady was, "My husband was involved in the plot against Hitler. He was arrested and executed. I am left alone to raise our 2 children. I apologize if our response was not early or strong enough. They held hands and prayed. As Hassan Hathout describes in Audible Silence, this was the prelude to the reconciliation and alliance between France and Germany. When she represented France in the United Nations and the mood was to deny aid to the Germans, she fought with passion until the children of Germany were fed. Perhaps someone in this audience can carry that spirit so that the children of Palestine do not continue to starve for no fault of their own. Hatred can destroy the world, as she said. If you are cured of hatred, you are part of the healing of the world instead of part of the disease. Her biography and documentary bear one title: For the Love of Tomorrow. To the youth in the audience, that inner struggle was one example of effective and infective jihad, one that was important enough for Hassan Hathout to include in his very last parchment. For those who are not familiar with him, he regarded loving and forgiving an integral part of his duty to God as a Muslim. And I have vivid memories of his refusal to hate, bear grudges, or yield to despair under much provocation over a life where he was frequently persecuted for his righteousness. It is hardly a surprise that people from every faith and every country streamed into his home. Following his epic expedition to America, fulfilling his dream of working for God full-time without pay, he published an essay on forgiveness in Islam, which he concluded with the words of the angel to Prophet Muhammad: "Your Lord commands you to forgive those who harm you, pardon those who deny you, and visit those who sever their relation with you." That passionate love and liberation from hatred were the fire that propelled him forward and up to creative endeavors and new horizons. Always self-critical, his honesty about the failings of his own people gave him authority to speak truth in compassion to other cultures. His fight for the sanctity of human life and nuclear disarmament gave him a bridge of friendship to people of strong principle, a bridge that will never break. Especially in economic crises, he was always more concerned about the prevailing spiritual vacuum and moral bankruptcy. As early as 1953, he fought discrimination with passion and in poem when he wrote, "Is blood in the veins of black more black, or in the veins of the white more white? Or sense and feeling black people lack, and only the white are bright? Are we not all the sons of Adam and Eve? Then why do we fight each other? And why make widows and orphans grieve as man sheds the blood of his brother? With guided missiles and unguided hearts, man digs humanity's grave. What use is progress in science and arts if to hatred man be a slave? Men of north and south and east and west, dark is earth with no heaven's light. Let us hail the one God and do our best to set this world aright. Travelers on roads, planes, and ships, on the wings of love, soar above and sing with hearts, not only with lips. God is love, God is love, God is love." the Hathout Legacy Foundation. Have I spoken of anything else? For Hathout, the mission statement of Islam was summarized in God's words, "We have sent you for nothing but mercy to the worlds." The mission of the Hathout Legacy Foundation is to spread this message of loving God through the words and spirit of Hathout for the betterment of humanity. We seek to present the Hathout school of thought as a hinge on which hearts and minds can swing open to a lifetime of purpose, to offer those he inspires a glimpse of the values he lived by, the ideals he died for. And to his friends, for whom the wrench of parting has been so sharp, now there is a sanctuary to transform grief into action. Ladies and gentlemen, we can pay homage to a hero by allowing our love for him to be a bridge of absolute honesty, purity, unselfishness, and love to God and his people. It is not where we rank on the growth chart that matters, but the speed at which we progress to reach our ultimate height. An epic of human decency, an institute of reconciliation, a center of excellence in faith, science, and humanities. Such is the legacy of Hathout, and that is how he shall remain in our lives and in our dreams forever. Thank you.